and welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for today's video. It's going to be a little bit different than my normal fun uppity vlogs and stuff like that. This is going to be a sit down video. I kind of just felt like a tug on my heart to do this, and so I decided that I was going to, and I'm really excited to get into it. So pretty much the gist of today's video is I'm just going to be talking about how I've been really working on growing closer to God. It's not going to be like a formula to grow closer to God or anything like that. I just have a few little like tips that God has been giving me recently on how to grow close to him and how to ultimately just in the end pursue him with every last ounce of you. So yeah, that's kind of just been like what I have been going through recently, and there's been a lot of like trust mixed in. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing that I've been doing recently that I have found so important is spending time with God every day. And I know that's obvious because every Christian says that you need to get in the Word every single day. You need to have undivided attention for God every single day. But really, that is so important. That is the main basis of a faith. You cannot have a relationship with someone without at least talking to them and spending time with them often. Like, you can't get to know your mom if you only talk to her once a week. You know, so giving God that undivided attention, and it can't be like, oh, you know, it's a Saturday, it's a weekend, I've got somewhere to go, I need to, you know, prepare for it. No, the most important thing in your life is pursuing God and growing a relationship with him so you can give him that 30 minutes or that hour every single day. For me, I have been doing an hour, and I have found that is just, it's been so great for me. I've been able to pray, read my Bible. I've been doing this little like book study that I will talk a little bit about later. But yeah, so it's just been the perfect amount of time for me, and I really have found that giving God that undivided attention has really just made me think about him more and really just be able to pursue him on a little bit of a different level than if I was giving him 20 minutes or 15 minutes or 30 minutes a day. So spending time with God every single day is truly so important. And if for you, I understand life is so stinking busy, life is crazy. So if you can't devote an hour of your time, then do what you can, but make sure that you get that time in every single day, because that truly is so important to growing your walk with God and growing your relationship with him and getting to know him as your father, as your friend. And it's truly makes such a difference in your life. So I really do encourage you to sit down and spend time with God every single day. And I'm not gonna lie, I have missed a couple days recently. You know, every couple weeks I miss a day, but I have really been trying to make that my main focus of that is the most important thing in my day, is spending time with him, and I am going to sit down and I'm going to do that. You know, and in that Bible time, praying about everything is so important. And I know everybody says that it's important to, you know, pray about everything, but God really does care about you, and he already knows everything that's happening in your life, but it's also for us being able to pour that out and being like, here's all my troubles, God, here's this, here's that, here's this, here's that, and laying out everything. Something that really like dawned on me about prayer is I was at youth and we were at the worship practice, which is like every Tuesday. I've talked about it before on my channel. And we have a little Devo each and every time, and someone was talking about like, who do you run to when it gets tough? Who do you run to when you're hurting, when you're sad, when something's not going right in your life? Who do you run to? You know, is it your mom? Is it your best friend to gossip to? Who is it? You know, and I'm like, I think about that and I'm like, okay. And even like, it can even be yourself. Like, who do you find shelter and advice in? It can even be yourself. Like for me, I'm a very inward person. When I'm going through something, I either try to battle it out myself, or sometimes I do go to like my close family, which is definitely the very wrong answer to it. We should always go to God first, and it should always be the first person that we talk to should be God. We should be able to go to him and pour out everything. So you shouldn't inwardly shelter all of your issues. So yeah, that kind of just like dawned on me as like, who am I running to when it gets tough? Am I telling God about every last thing in my life? Even though he already knows it, there's something so special and something so important about pouring out everything that's on your heart. And God really does listen to you. He will give you that comfort. And he may not even speak to you. It may just be a a feeling of comfort and a feeling of peace that just engulfs that situation. So talk to God about everything. He really does listen to you, and make him the very first thing that you run to. And for me recently, I've kind of been in a season of like pursuing God even when I don't hear something. I've really kind of just been in a season of having to trust him, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie, this season of trusting him has been such a long one. I would have to say for the last few years, I really truly have been in a season of just trusting him, especially since like right before my surgery back in September, like all of that sort of stuff, just going through a very long season of just trusting him. And so he's also kind of been pretty silent in this season too. And so for me, it's been like, will I still pursue God even when he doesn't speak to me, and even when he doesn't speak to me in the way that I want him to? Am I still going to pursue him just because that's who he is, and just because he is my father and he is my king and he deserves every last ounce of my life? Am I going to continue to pursue him even though I'm not getting out of it what I want to? So that's just been where I've been at recently, is just pursuing him through everything, no matter what, even if he doesn't speak to me at all, even if he doesn't answer my prayer exactly like I want him to, it's still pursuing him and pushing through. And, you know, remember, God is never completely silent. Even if God does not speak to you the way you want, or answer that specific prayer the way you want, go to the Word. God is speaking to you through the Word. So there will never be a season in your life where God is completely silent. And trust me, I am saying this to you from a point of experience, because I have definitely been in a season where I really have not heard God truly speak to me the way that I have been asking him to. And that's okay, because he has still been speaking to me through little things. He guided me to a prayer book that I've been doing that has been helping me so much. And you know, he did answer my prayer. I was praying about what I should do if I should get a job over the summer, because that's something that I've really been just kind of like toiling over in my brain, just like, do I get a job? Do I not? Where do I work? All that sort of thing. And I kind of felt like I really wanted to work at a coffee shop. And so I was praying about it, and I was praying about it, and I was praying about it, and it went on for probably a month, and I was hearing nothing. And kind of like a little check in my spirit came, and I was like, what if I do something like babysitting? Something where I can have flexible hours, something easy like that. And I was like, okay, God, so should I do that? Literally right after I hit that point, 2 days later, the coffee shop that I wanted to work at closed. And I was like, oh my gosh, he just spoke to me. Like, he does want me to do something like babysitting. He doesn't want me to work at a coffee shop. He doesn't want me to have an actual job like that, because that's not what's meant for me in this season. And I begged him to just speak to me the way that I wanted him to, but he didn't, because he knew that he was going to speak to me a different way that was going to be even more incredible, and that was going to be even more of a sign. And so I had to just be patient and back off and let him actually speak to me the way that he knew was going to be best for me, which is definitely so hard, but it's so incredible that like he did speak to me, and he didn't verbally speak to me. It wasn't like a little something in my head where it's like, oh yes, I know God's speaking to me. It was just a sign of something that happened that I knew was God truly speaking to me. So just remember, God is never silent. He will speak to you no matter what way it is. He is always speaking to you through his word, through signs, all that sort of stuff. So God is never silent. And I've been reading this absolutely incredible book by Sheila Walsh. It's called The Praying Woman. It's literally like, that's just the title of it, is literally just Praying Woman. But it is such an amazing book. I have gotten so much out of it. I literally have like so much highlighted throughout. Like almost every page has something highlighted on it, because it's just such an amazing book. But yeah, I will be sure to link this book in my description so you guys can go purchase this. I just got mine off of Amazon. It is one of the most amazing books out there. It has truly helped me reframe my mind on what prayer is and why it's so important, and just how to pray without, you know, without a format or without thinking it's some sort of ritual or something. It's just talking to God. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna link this in the description, so make sure you guys go check this book out because it is truly life-changing. But one of the points that I got out of it is pray your hardest when it's hardest to pray. So I was just sitting there just like thinking that over in my brain and just repeating to myself, like, pray hardest when it's hardest to pray. So when you're going through the most difficult situation that you could possibly ever fathom would happen to you, that is when it's the most important time to pray your hardest. When you feel more like giving up and more like distancing yourself from being a Christian or growing your walk or any of that, that is when it's most important to pray your hardest and to push your hardest and to pursue your hardest. So like, going back to that point, just constantly pray your hardest when it's hardest to pray. And I could not say that more. Like, that point was just, oh my gosh, that just hit home for me. Like, it was just absolutely incredible, because I have found, like, in the times where God is the most silent, that is when I want to give up the most, obviously, because that's our human mentality is if we're pushing and nothing's happening, we back off. And that is when it's the worst time to back off in a walk with God, in a Christian walk. That is the most important time to push, is when you're not seeing results and you're not getting where you want to be. That's when it's even more important to keep pressing. Kind of the second thing that I've just been thinking about, and the second thing that I've been implementing, is cutting out distractions. So distractions come in many, many forms. There are so many different forms of distractions, whether it be social media, whether it be that boyfriend, that girlfriend, whether it be music, whether it be a TV show. There's so many things in this world that are distracting and that are pulling us away from God. And so cutting out those distractions, whether it be for a week, whether it be for a month, whether you feel like you're supposed to cut something out for a whole entire year, cutting out those distractions that you know have become a distraction is really going to help you grow your walk. So for me, my main thing has been YouTube. I found that I was watching YouTube too much. Like, I was watching too many YouTube videos, spending too much time on there, and I started to realize that that was kind of just like what I started thinking about. Like, you think about what you watch and what you listen to and what you hear and all that sort of stuff. So if I'm constantly filling my brain with the secular world and filling my brain with outside stuff, then that's what I'm going to be thinking about. But if I'm filling myself with God, then that's what I'm going to be thinking about. And I have definitely, truly seen that in my life. So for me, I have been cutting out YouTube. I haven't watched any in, I think, 3 weeks or something like that. And I have felt really passionately about keeping on going until I feel like God's saying, okay, it's okay to go back and have a little bit of that now. I've also been cutting out secular music. Secular music has never really been like a downfall for me. I always listen to clean music, and I really don't listen to much secular music at all, to be honest. But I still felt called to cut that out too, and just listen to worship music, just listen to Christian music. And there's like so many different amazing Christian artists out there. For me, my favorite ones are for worship is Maverick City. It does not get better than Maverick. Like, it truly does not. They have the best worship music ever. Like, I am obsessed with their worship music. And then one of my favorite, more like fun, upbeat type Christian artists is Chris Renzema. I have been listening to him on repeat recently. Like, I literally have just been listening to his albums constantly because they're so much fun. They're just so great. They're so lyrical, but it's also filling you up with God, and it's also very edifying. And then also one more artist that I absolutely love is Abby Gamboa. She's with Upper Room, and she's amazing. Like, literally, I can just play one of her songs and just sit there and just listen to the lyrics of it because it's just so amazing. But yeah, enough talk about my favorite artists. Just cutting out distractions. So if it's TV shows for you too, maybe, cut out TV for a week and just see how you feel. See if you're thinking about God more. See if you feel like you've grown closer to him. Just cutting out distractions in general. I don't know you know, what type of distractions you guys have, kind of just assessing in your mind what could possibly be a distraction in my life and can I easily cut this out. You know, and then if you're cutting out distractions, you're cutting out that wasted time of watching random things or listening to secular music. You're gonna have to have something to fill up that time. So fill it up with a Christian podcast, fill it up with worship music, pray extra. Instead of listening to that super fun, like hyped playlist you've got on Spotify, just listen to some worship music, or don't even listen to anything. Just sit there and pray, and kind of, you know, like just backtracking to just pursuing God more. This is a very popular Bible verse, but one that I feel like we can really soak on as Christians. It's Matthew 7:7-8, and it says, "Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, and the one who seeks finds, and to the one who knocks it will be opened." And so for me, the most, like, the part that just sticks out to me the most is, "and the one who seeks finds." So when we seek God and when we pursue God, we are going to find him. It is not an empty void. It's not something where we sit there and we keep, you know, pushing, we keep pursuing, and he is not going to be there. When we consistently seek and we consistently pursue God, we will find him. And devoting all of your time and all of your energy into God, you are going to get return, and you are going to find him. I can promise you that, because it is in the Word of God, and everything in the Word is true. A couple more scriptures that actually really stuck out to me that I read this morning in this book is Psalms 38:15. It says, "Lord, I wait for you. You will answer, Lord my God." So just knowing that no matter how he answers you, no matter if it's the way that you wanted him to, he will answer you, because he is always listening. And then also Psalms 5:3, it says, "In the morning, Lord, you hear my voice. In the morning, I lay my request before you and wait expectantly." So just know that you're not just waiting. You can wait in expectation of a return. You can wait in expectation of the Lord answering your prayers, however that may be. You can wait in expectation of growing your walk with God and feeling his presence like never before. Yeah, and my words for this year were trust and pursue. I felt those at the very beginning of the year, and those could not ring any more true than they are right now. Like, truly, I have just been in a state of just pursuing God for everything that he is and everything that he is in my life. And so yeah, just pursuing him to the best of my abilities. And remember, you don't have to have a format for prayer. Prayer is not a rehearsed thing. Prayer is literally just having a conversation. And I know so many people say that, but truly think about it, like just sitting there and going like, "Hey God," and then just starting to talk to him, because it doesn't even get the word prayer even out of your head, and just think about it as talking to a friend. Like, genuinely, truly do think about it that way. Like, you know, if you want to go to your friend and you want to have a quick conversation with her about this, or how this is going wrong in your life, or how you're sad about this, just replace that with going to God and just talk to him. Just be like, "God, I'm really going through it right now. I'm frustrated because of this, and I'm hurting because of this, and I'm confused," and all that sort of stuff. Just go to God and just talk to him. Just have a conversation with him. It doesn't have to be rehearsed. You don't have to write it down and be like, "Oh, this is what I'm going to pray," or "This is what I'm going to pray every single day," like that sort of thing. It does not have to be rehearsed. It's just a conversation. It's just flowing in conversation with God. So remember, really important things of growing closer to God is spending time with God every single day in prayer, and reading his word, in listening to podcasts, and listening to edifying music. Spend time with God every single day. And then second, cut out distractions, things that are going to come in your life that are going to distract you from growing your walk with God, whether that be friends, girlfriends, or boyfriends, movies, secular music, too much YouTube, too much social media. Cutting all of that sort of stuff out, cutting out every last possible distraction. And then third, do not give up. You will find, the more you pursue and the more you seek and the more you trust God, the more you will find. Don't get discouraged in a season of silence. God is just asking you to press in even harder than you have before. So obey that calling and keep pressing and press harder than ever before. Yeah, so that's kind of all I have for today. I hope that was kind of helpful. I feel like it was kind of just me just throwing out a bunch of random thoughts that I've just had in my head recently. I've just been kind of thinking about all these sort of subjects very much so recently, and kind of just trying to cut out distractions, really grow my walk with God, even though I have kind of been in a season of just trusting and a season of kind of just pursuing in the silence. So yeah, I kind of just wanted to like brain dump to you guys. I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys got a little something out of it, and I hope that you feel refreshed even, and you're able to keep pushing and keep pursuing, because maybe you are in a little bit of a season of silence like me. Just know that God is right on the other side of it, and you need to just keep pursuing and keep pushing. I love you guys so much, and I truly hope this was helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to see more content every single Friday, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.